A little bit of tenderness is really all you need to look for to indicate that you're in the right spot. Hey everyone, welcome to class. Today I wanted to give you a really good go-to class for when your hips just feel really tight and achy and your hamstrings feel super rigid and frozen solid. I don't know what it is about these body parts. Honestly, I think they're just very, very well used throughout the day. So when we find ourselves away from our practice for a while, or we're just busy and kind of going nonstop, the hips and the hamstrings tend to be the first areas that feel really, really tight, and it's noticeable. Obviously, I know the shoulders are as well, but hips are just, that's one area that everybody always wants to work on. So I thought this would be a great one to kind of give you something to do when you have no idea what to do. You're gonna need a foam roller of some kind. So even if you don't have a foam roller, if you have like those massage balls that I've talked about, or a tennis ball, you could probably get away with that too. We're only gonna be using it briefly at the beginning, so if you don't have it, honestly, don't worry about it. So let's go ahead and begin with a little bit of release for the hips, for the glutes, and for the IT bands especially. Maybe the hamstrings too. Let's see how we feel. Go ahead and come onto your butt, and you're going to sit up on your foam roller. If you're using the massage balls, just put them in a pouch, and you're gonna roll over to the right hip. So stay on the soft part, like the outer part of your butt cheek, and then cross the right ankle over the left knee. So what you're looking for here, and you'll probably find it pretty quickly, is an area that feels a little bit tender, just not painful. I mean, it might feel painful, but you're not looking for something super painful. A little bit of tenderness is really all you need to look for to indicate that you're in the right spot, okay? So mild to moderate discomfort is all you need for this particular exercise. And I don't want you to rock back and forth. Just find a spot that feels a little uncomfortable and then hold. Hold for a few breaths, maybe 3 to 5 slow breaths, and then slowly roll forward or back until you find another point that feels a little bit tender. And I want this to be pretty relaxing, so make sure you're not holding your breath. Just relax the face. Don't look for excruciating pain in this. There's something about foam rolling that makes people immediately think that they need to be miserable in order for it to be working. And it's just not true. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it comes up a lot where, you should be hurting. And that's how you know it's working. Let's do the other side. So take your right foot down, roll over to the left hip. Oh, that side hurts. I did a lower body workout a couple days ago and I'm still feeling it. So look for, again, an area that feels just a little bit tender. And then once you find that, hold. Don't hold your breath. Relax the face. And once the discomfort eases just a little bit, after a few breaths, you can roll forward back until you find another one. Maybe find one more spot, take a few breaths there. Good, and let's go back to the right side. So now we're gonna work the IT band a little bit. So I want you to turn the pinky edge of the right foot so it's down on the mat. And you'll notice that if you kind of roll around the outside of the hip, you feel like there's some bone up at the top here. We're gonna stay away from the bony part of the hip, come down onto the forearm and take the left foot down in front of the right shin. So if you know where your butt cheek is on the hip, move down just below that and imagine that there's a seam on your leggings on the outside of the leg, right in the middle. You're gonna roll from the top of that seam down just about 6 or 7 inches right before you get close to the knee. And then come back up. And once again, you're looking for an area that feels tender. I know you'll probably feel several, so look for a spot that feels particularly uncomfortable, and then hold there for just a few breaths. And your arms can be wherever is comfortable. I just have furniture in the way, so here I am. Moving up and down until you find something, and you will. I've never met someone who did this for their IT bands and didn't find anything. I think we all have trigger points here that we can work on. Find one more spot, take a few breaths. Then let's switch. I hope you came out of that as ungracefully as I did. So on to the other side. Now we're going to do the same thing. So you can bring it up towards the hip just while you get situated. Pinky edge of the left foot down, right foot steps in front of the shin, and then roll it down below the butt just a little bit on that imaginary seam on your leggings, and then start to move down, but before you get too close to the knee. So you're still a couple inches away from the knee here. Looking for tender points, and then just pause and hold. Continue to breathe, but embrace the discomfort while you're here. And just a reminder that, again, once that discomfort eases a little bit, move on to the next one. Staying with your breath. Ooh, this one is always super intense. Like, of all the places to foam roll, I always struggle with this one the most. Find your last point and hold. And then slowly come out of it. You can move your foam roller off to the side. We're gonna hit the hamstrings in more classic yoga ways. Obviously you can definitely use a foam roller, and it's great. So keep that in your back pocket as something to do when you're super tight. But we're just gonna take a very easy forward fold. So accounting for the fact that you're feeling a little tight today, just start to soften the knees and then hinge at the hip crease and start to walk the hands out. Just until you feel some tension happen in the hamstrings, and then that's enough. Start to relax. And as the tension leaves, you can work your way a little bit further into that forward fold. Not taking your cues from what I'm telling you to do, but taking your cues from your own body. So only deepening the fold as you feel like you can. We've got a couple more breaths here, so if you can go a little bit lower, you can do that now. Now that the hamstrings have a little bit more give in them, just walk the hands in. Keep your left leg extended, cross the right foot over the left thigh. Inhale, sit up tall, and exhale, just take an easy twist over the right shoulder. So what we're looking at here, what we're focused on here, is the outer part of the right hip. So you don't have to be straight up and down in your spine. If you need to lean back a little bit, that's fine too. As long as you're hugging the knee in close to you, in towards the midline. Keep the head neutral. Just make sure you're not looking up or down, just straight ahead, eyes on the horizon. Slowly turn back towards the center. Fold the right knee over the left. So you're in a half cow face pose. Since again, we're keeping our focus on the lower body, just keep the arms down, walk the hands out. You'll probably feel this quite a bit in the left hamstrings and in the calf perhaps. So only fold until you feel that tension, moderate tension, and then stop. Walk the hands in. Unfold the legs. Extend both feet out in front of you. We're going to take another easy seated forward fold. So just walk the hands out. Grab wherever you can. I mean, if the hands are on the floor or the shins, that's fine. If you can hold on to the feet, that works too. But remembering there's no single right way to do this. Inhale, sit up tall. Back to it on the other side. Take the left foot, cross it over the right. Inhale, sit up tall just to give yourself a good start. And then turn over the left shoulder, hug the left knee in toward the chest, and look for that feeling of stretch on the outside of the left hip. I don't care if your shoulders are perfectly stacked over the hips. Relax the right leg. Relax the face. And make sure you're breathing. Turn back towards the center. Let the left leg fold over the right for half cow face pose. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, start to walk the hands out. You'll feel this one pretty quick, so just pause when you do and try to relax into it a little bit. I love the idea. I always cue, not to resist the stretch, to kind of lean into it. And that's why I think it's really important to stop before you reach your maximum capacity. Because if you're at your maximum end range of motion, it's going to be very difficult to relax. Whereas if you're like 75, 80, you can probably relax there. You can find, a version of, of calm. It makes it much more sustainable. Inhale, sit up tall. Lean back on the hands. Uncross the legs, just roll over the feet. You're gonna come to standing, but just walk the feet under the hips. Soften the knees a lot, and then slowly roll up. Standing at the top of your mat, I want you to cross the right foot behind the left. Grab a hold of the right wrist and press the hips over to the right. Inhale fully, and then exhale, turn your chest towards the space between the feet. So your hips kind of move with the chest and then fold forward. You'll feel this in the outer edge of the right leg, maybe into the side of your torso as well. Come to the center of your mat. Step the feet about hip width apart. Keep the right foot forward. Slowly step the left foot back and drop the knee down. Inhale, lift the chest. Adjust your stance if you need to. So the hips kind of sinking forward. Maybe your hands stay on the right knee, or if you prefer, you can keep them down on the floor. So right now, I want your focus to be on that back hip. So the front part of the left hip, the hip flexors. You might even feel it up in towards the front part of your stomach. So the psoas is lengthening, the abs a little bit. And we're going to emphasize this just a little bit. So take your right hand to your right knee and lean the left arm up and over to the right. So the hips drop down a little bit further. The left side body gets even longer. Take the hands, frame the right foot, shift your weight back to a runner's lunge. So the left knee is under the hip, the right foot wiggles forward, and then start to fold the upper body down. So maybe you're just propped up on the hands. This is about all I have available to me today. But if you can fold down to the shin, good for you. More power to you. Pay attention to your lower back here as well. So notice if you scoop the tailbone under, feel how that sort of completely eliminates the feeling of stretch through the right hamstrings, right? Now if you scoop the tailbone back, kind of like you're flattening the low back and pointing the tailbone straight back, notice how that emphasizes the length in the hamstrings. That's what I want you to do here. So kind of lengthen the tailbone back, reach the sternum towards the toes. Take one more breath in. Exhale, kind of release back off. Take the right foot down. Step the left foot up to meet the right. Forward fold. Soften the knees. Slowly roll up. And let's cross the left foot behind the right. So your feet are, at least a foot apart, if not just a little bit more. Push your hips over to the left. Grab the left hand. Lean your weight over to the right, pressing your hip out to the left. And then slowly turn your chest towards that space between the feet and start to fold down. So it's like you're leaning your body weight over to the left while folding over to the right. Take one more inhale. Exhale, relax, walk it back to the center. Left foot stays down, right foot steps back, and find your kneeling lunge. So adjust, accommodate for what feels good to you today. Hands can be up on the left knee, or you can take them down to the floor. Take a few breaths here. We're going to emphasize this just a little bit. So remember, we're really focused on that right hip, the front part of the hip. Take the right arm up and start to lean over to the left. Feeling that length enhance a little bit. I feel it a little bit more. Inhale fully. Exhale. Take the hands down. Shift your weight back to a runner's lunge. Wiggle the left foot forward. Right knee is stacked under the hip. And take the hands down. So again, notice if you tuck the tailbone under, you lose that stretch. If you point it back, it increases and kind of emphasizes it, and that's what we're looking for. Take 2 more breaths. And release. Lean into the left foot. Step your left foot back and you're going to find child's pose. So feet together, knees nice and wide. Slide the hips back. Take your forehead down to the mat. Take a few breaths here. Allow the hips to get really heavy so they come down towards the heels. On your next breath in, walk the hands in towards you. You can bring the knees together. Roll the shoulders back, sit up. Bring the hands to the heart center. Let the eyes blink open. Thank you so much for coming and joining me. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you want a longer version of this, believe it or not, it continues. There's more to it inside my digital studio, Bad Yogi Studio. If you jump down to the description below, sorry, you'll see a link and you'll also get a free 14-day trial. So if you're not sure what's going on, you'll find this full-length class and so many others varying in time, intensity, style. There's hundreds in there, something that suits every single mood. So jump down in the description, click the link, get your free trial, and I'll see you there. In any case, I'll see you back here next time. Have a good one.